On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. Happy Monday to all of you guys. Today's the 17th. That said, we've got a lot of scandal going on, big time. All around the Epstein stuff, which is also funny. Well, scandal everywhere, actually. We've got stuff going on, too, with J6. Got a lot of things to talk about. Lots going on in the world. And, it's only Monday, right? It's only Monday. We'll see how the rest of this week goes. Wanted to start with some good stuff. I love these types of videos, and frankly, it made me tear up, made me happy. And I'm like, this is how I'm glad I started my day, and I wanted to share it with you as well. Check it. Well, soon check it out. Here you go.
Hey! Oh, I missed you. I missed you so much.
God, I love that stuff. Love that stuff. Made me tear up even again this time. I even knew what was going to happen. What Barron Trump said. You guys remember we had all those awesome lip-reading experts that told us what Barron Trump said to Joe Biden? First off, let me just remind all of you, all of them were wrong. 100% wrong. Nobody got that right. So many people want to believe things like that, and they'll run around and actually say it like it's truth. Oh, it cracks me up. I love how the world's working. It's one of the big problems we're actually having, which is where this scandal comes into play, which is also where some other scandals are coming into play. We're going to talk about all this stuff, but I wanted to, set this up a little bit. But here is what Eric Trump, I think it's Eric, isn't it? Holy crap. Can't even tell them apart anymore. Or forget their names. Either way, whatever the case is, here he is talking about that experience, that happening.
Do you remember that whole controversy where he went up to Biden, right?
Yes.
And they had all these like lip reading experts, and they just, and they're like, Barron just told Biden to go F himself. I'm like, so one night, I'm very close to Barron. I love Barron to death, right? One night I call Barron, I go, buddy, look, what did you actually say? And he goes, it was something so polite, I almost wouldn't even get it right, but like, congratulations and, best of luck to you, or something like that, something very respectful.
Yeah, he looks different than Don Jr. That was Eric. I got it right. Woo! Scared me there. Scared me for a second. I was actually questioning that the whole time. I'm like, well, I'll correct myself after. Well, I got it right, luckily. I just thought this was crazy. This is happening in Hawaii right now with their volcano. Pretty magnificent. Look at that. There's a Bible prophecy in this somewhere. 1,500 feet high, wall of fire, fountain of fire, right? 1,500 feet. Dude, damn, right? That's like, wow. That's really far up in the air, and it's just shooting double horn. I don't know about you. And then actually, when you look in the middle, there's almost like an upside down smiley face, and then, horns possibly, or ears? What was that, Grok? Or, let's see, Shrek. Was that Shrek in there? What's going on? Or is that the devil? I don't know. Actually, that was just an added bonus that I saw at the end. Really? Look at all that, folks. Come on. And then a horn on his head. Or he's just horny. One of the two. I don't know. I don't make up the rules, just most of the news. Donald Trump, he was busy, frankly, and some of the things, big time. So January 6th, we're going to talk a bit about that, and he had some posts, and this is going to lead into some other stuff, a thread from our good friends in the Oversight Committee, and wow. I mean, so Donald Trump said it was just revealed that the FBI had secretly placed, against all rules, regulations, protocols, and standards, 274 FBI agents into the crowd just prior to and during the January 6th hoax. This is different than from what Director Christopher Wray stated over and over again. That's right. As it now turns out, FBI agents were at and in the January 6th protest, probably acting as agitators and insurrectionists, but certainly not as law enforcement officials. I want to know who each and every one of these so-called agents are and what they were up to on the now historic day. Many great American patriots were made to pay a very big price, only for the love of their country. I owe this investigation of dirty cops and crooked politicians to them. Christopher Wray, to the then director of the FBI, has some major explaining to do. That 2 in a row, Comey and Wray, who got caught lying with our great country at stake. We can never let this happen to America again. And who's this gentleman? Mike Davis is talking to Maria Bartiromo about this stuff. Check it out.
The staff said, do your Privacy Act review and get out these documents. Well, they didn't do the Privacy Act review. They did the Mar-a-Lago raid. That was the whole point of the Mar-a-Lago raid, was to get back Crossfire Hurricane. And that's what led to the 3 years of the lawfare against President Trump after he left office. 4 indictments for non-crimes. January 6th was part of that, where these Democrats and even some Republicans were trying to use January 6th to try to get rid of MAGA more broadly.
Okay.
Looks like Maria's lips have gotten bigger recently. I'm assuming there's some sort of enhancement that might have been done. Donald Trump truthed this as well. He truthed this many times, I guess. It's the same thing, right? It was just revealed. It's very important, this one, apparently. Seizure of phone records became a pattern at the center of grand conspiracy weaponization case. We've got, of course, the prosecutor. This is the individual that was pointing out the Hunter Biden stuff. I think the whistleblower for the alleged misdeeds. They discounted offer and subpoenaed his private phone records because of this guy's evidence. I think the Hunter Biden's alleged misdeeds. Yeah, so I don't know if this is around the stocks or taxes and stuff like that. But this man who originally brought that Hunter Biden evidence to the Justice Department, former United States Attorney Bud Cummins, recently told Just the News that history has vindicated what the DOJ declined to probe and blamed a real culture problem within the agency and the FBI for the decision. Just the News first reported in 2023 that Cummins, then a private attorney, approached the Justice Department in fall 2018 on behalf of a foreign witness who claimed to have evidence that Joe Biden had exercised influence to protect his son's employer in Ukraine and return for money for his family. The agency didn't take up the ex-prosecutor on his offer, but instead secretly obtained his phone records a year later in an apparent effort to identify his contacts. So years down the road, I started getting some notices that I had been the subject of subpoenas out of the Southern District of New York, presumably related to me, trying to offer the federal government information about Hunter Biden, Cummins told Just the News, No Noise TV show. He said, quote, I've always said I don't really have a problem with the DOJ trying to take a look at me and seeing who I'm talking to and what's motivating me to come forward with this extraordinary offer of evidence. I do have a problem with them ignoring the extraordinary offer of evidence completely, which is what they did, and then investigating me, and that's what happened. So they just ignored what he said, and they were trying to figure out who was telling him. That's how the deep state rolls. They wouldn't fix the problem. They'd go after the leak and destroy it. And then they'd create their own leaks, which we are well aware of. It's kind of hence the thumbnail today. Now, Lindsey Graham, he's trying to introduce legislation letting Americans impacted by Jack Smith's dragnet so they can sue. So what Lindsey Graham is suggesting, and here again, folks, I get the pain and discomfort this has caused, and to a degree, all right, if we want to let them have access to taxpayer money, totally true. This is Senator Graham trying to justify the $500,000 he's about to get, or he wants to get. Again, the House is pretty pissed about this, and Senator Graham's like, I don't understand why this is bothering you. You should pass laws and stuff that so you can get money too. Senator Lindsey Graham's a pile of shit. And here he is trying to milk the taxpayer for money that, you know, it's not our fault. It was the deep state. So what? You're going to make us, the taxpayer, Lindsey Graham, pay for it, even though you, rhino fucker, didn't do a thing about it while you were in office. You've been in office and voted some of this shit in. And God knows what you were doing with McCain. I will never, ever forgive you for that. If you can make up for it in positive attributes, we'll see. But I will never forget that. That is for sure. I'm hoping you don't end up with a wrinkled flag on your coffin. That would be upsetting, wouldn't it? Hope so. Nothing horrible ever. I mean, I hope you stay healthy. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to certainly say anything from my standpoint, but this is disgusting. And here he is trying to justify the $500,000. And I had read somewhere that there was some weird other little side thing where he might be able to get another $500,000. So $1 million for Lindsey Graham. You don't deserve it, dude. No. A lot of people were subpoenaed and had their phone records illegally looked at. You're in Congress. At least you're somebody that makes sense. Going after Ma and Pa, or hell, Tina Peters for that matter. Donald Trump truthing about that. Free Tina Peters, a brave and innocent patriot who has been tortured by crooked Colorado politicians, including the big mail-in ballot supporting the governor of the state. Let Tina Peters out of jail right now. She did nothing wrong except catching the Democrats cheat in the election. She is an old woman and very sick. If she is not released, I am going to take harsh measures. So I guess Juan O'Savin got his hope. Trump put out the post. Kash Patel, he's saying there's a 100% chance that we're going to see people held accountable for the grand conspiracy of January 6th. 100% chance.
I want to move on to a few other issues before you go. And of course, we always talk about the last 10 years of conspiracy against President Trump. And it started with the Russia collusion, on to the indictments and the impeachments. And of course, January 6th. Do you have any news for us on January 6th and your investigation?
I think you'll see something on that front very soon. As you know, we can't reveal our ongoing investigations. And as it goes for things like Russiagate, Maria, again, maybe no one better than you has covered it. And look, I lived it. I was weaponized as a victim against a weaponization, politicization of law enforcement, including at the FBI, by former senior leadership there. And I was the one that ran and uncovered the Russiagate hoax and conspiracy back on my House Intel days. I can't talk about ongoing investigations, but I think you've seen reporting in the media and reflections as to what's going on. We will not allow anyone who participated in the Russiagate conspiracy, or those who improperly and illegally, in my opinion, spied on me, members of Congress, and even members of the media for a political end state, to be left unturned. These are investigations that are of important consequence to the American public. Deputy Director Bongino and I have lived through it with you and everyone else. And we don't ask you to trust us, but look at the work we've put in under President Trump's leadership. We are going after every single person, from drug traffickers to those who create precursors, to those, most importantly, who weaponize our system of law enforcement. You've already seen indictments of people like former Director James Comey and others, and we're not done.
Well, by the way, Comey is asking for all of the charges to be dropped right now, as you know. So the audience wants to know if we're ever going to see accountability, Director. And I know that there's a limited amount you can say about this with regard to what happens next. There was a criminal referral for John Brennan. Do you believe we will see accountability?
Yes, 100%. We are delivering this accountability. But I'd just like to remind the audience, and I think you know this better than anyone, they built this weaponization scheme over the course of a decade plus. In these first 8 months that we've been there, we've already charged individuals, thanks to this great Department of Justice, who are at the pinnacle of this weaponization of government. We've already turned over, by the way, Maria, James Comey turned over 3,000 documents to Congress for oversight. Christopher Wray turned over 13,000. This FBI, under our leadership, has turned over 38,000 pages of information to Congress for congressional oversight purposes, which is wed to accountability, which is wed to the referrals that they send us back that we activate at the FBI. Every single letter they send us that has a substantive referral is opened by this FBI.
Director, just to clarify, how many Americans were arrested regarding January 6th? I know many people spent jail time as a result of January 6th, and you've been doing a deep dive investigation into this. There's a lot of speculation online. We want to know who planted the pipe bomb. Is there anything you can tell us there? And how many people were arrested on January 6th?
Too many. Far too many, far too baselessly as a result of a weaponization of justice and a politicization of targeting President Trump's supporters. It was unlawful and improper, and we've been working like we have with the deputy director to unearth that. And as it relates to major investigations of public importance like the pipe bomber, again, I say, stay tuned. We reviewed every single investigation of public consequence, reopened them, reevaluated them, because we feel it cannot go untouched. We are not going to let these things lay by and allow the fake news media to run roughshod over us. Our indictments speak powerfully in court. If you don't believe us, just look at the response that the Eastern District of Virginia under Lindsay Halligan did to James Comey, and look at the notes and publication of evidence. That's the type of material we have, but we have to safeguard our prosecutions because the ultimate accountability is with a verdict in a jury room.
Understood. Director, good to have you this morning. Thanks so much.
Good stuff. Again, we are making progress, right? That's the best we can do. That's the best we can do. Judge orders DOJ to turn over grand jury transcripts to Comey lawyers, suggesting the government's misconduct may have tainted proceedings. I don't know if this is good or bad. I mean, there's accusations by the judge that the government wasn't being totally forthright, or was suggesting that Comey using the Fifth Amendment excuse is kind of an implication of guilt. So they feel like they tainted the jury, or the grand jury, I should say. We'll see what comes from this. I think it's being spun. As New York Post, I don't fully, I mean, they're not a bad brag, but they're not necessarily always good. What they're usually about is like sports and like relationship crap. Like, it's pretty funny. So they're gossip central. Democrats' principled stand on the shutdown is an attempt to pay back their health insurance donors. The interesting part of this article, I personally thought all the insurance companies were giving money to all of the candidates. I honestly did. Apparently, it's far heavier on the Democrat side. I actually was trying to be more even with it, but I was willing to bastardize some of the Republicans happily. Smack them around a little bit. Nope, the option wasn't there. Follow the money on this one is pretty straightforward. In 2024 campaign, insurers gave 5 times more money to Kamala Harris than to Donald Trump. In 2018 cycle, the industry gave 30 times as much to federal Democrat candidates as Republicans, $63 million versus $2.2 million. Now, I very much want to know who the $2.2 million receivers were. Lindsey Graham, you're probably on that list, aren't you? Probably. Rand Paul, I hope isn't, but he might be. He's a doctor. He's also been one of the sticks in the mud, hasn't he? Curious, I'd really want to know. If any of you guys have the ability to figure out who that 2.2 million is, I'd love to see the names and the dollar amounts. Any of you. If you can see it, if you can find it, if you find an article, someone did it, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see it. I didn't go digging, per se. Alexa Anderson walked away from the medal podium at the Oregon State Championship to protest a male athlete. In response to her just protesting, quietly, nicely, kindly, she didn't throw Molotov cocktails at any buildings or anything like that. In response to this, she was threatened and received death threats. The Oregon High School Sports, HS Sports League, I'm not sure what the HS is, high school? Maybe High School Sports League, also reportedly refused to give her a medal. So they took her medal from her because she didn't want to stand up there with a man that just beat women. This comedian, I like him. I don't know. He's probably sometimes on the wrong side of things. Charlemagne LaDouche, or Dadouche. It bugs the shit out of me. And now that I don't work at the company that he currently works for, I can say, fuck you, Charlemagne. Anyways. Dude's a douche hole. This comedian, I like him. He's definitely pissed some people off. He's gone on a little hard on our side of the fence once in a while. But at the same time, he's being 100% correct right here. And I like it because even Charlemagne LaDouche, Dadouche or LaDouche, I don't know which one it is. Charlemagne Dadouche. He tried to kind of pull him back from the edge, and this dude's like, no, man, I'm jumping off this edge happily. Doubling down, bitches. Check it out.
It's just funny to me that, like, there are people that were happy Charlie Kirk got shot because they disagreed on opinions, and they're fighting for due process for people who are driving fentanyl into the fucking country. Like, what the fuck do we live in? Why do we have more humanity for people who are actually profiting off of killing Americans?
But you shouldn't be like those people.
What do I got to do?
Don't become what you hate.
Exactly. What do you mean?
You're Christian.
I hate people trying to kill Americans.
You hate people
trying to kill him. So if you're trying to kill Charlie Kirk, or if you're trying to bring fentanyl in here, I hate both of y'all. It's just fun.
See, that's what I love about just most everybody, even a bunch of you guys. And I love you guys, but it's frustrating because most people want to deduce things down to one or the other. Can't be both. You know, quantum computing, that's a big part of what I honestly think this evolution is going to be. I think it's symbolic for our consciousness. We're actually going to be able to hold two states of consciousness simultaneously, or two states of thought simultaneously, like this gentleman just did. Not only is it binary one turned on, I dislike people that, try to bring poison into this country, but I'm binary number one, also dislike people that kill people just because of their opinions. Good on them. That's quantum thinking. Because most people are like, well, you can't, because Charlie Kirk's the one side and the drug people are the other, I guess. So you can't dislike them both, right? Well, yeah, you can, Charlemagne da douche. Yes, you can. By the way, have you read any of these books back here? Any of them? Any of them? One. I mean, hopefully you have. You might lie, but just curious. Have you read any of them? The douche. Whatever. Politicians suck. I don't like them. So we're going to beat up on them a little bit right now, especially my favorite couple. This one's going to get a little saucy. Please don't get mad at me, but there is some interesting stuff, and a lot of us have to really, really, really start to get good at this understanding of how our own side is infiltrated. Many people, again, very black or white, right? Israel's a great example. I get lambasted. Well, there's one douchehole like lambast me because he thinks I'm pro-Israel. I'm like, that's not even what I say. I think most of you guys get kind of what I'm trying to say. I don't like broad brushing a group. I just don't think it's a good idea. Israel's not the problem. People in Israel, the cabal, the corruption, the Mossad, the Khazarians, the whatevers, sure, yes. We've got those same doucheholes in our own government. So whatever hatred you have towards Israel, make sure it's pointed right back at your own stupid face. Because it's both sides of that. And then London, and then, other places too. Iran, China, North Korea. You can't just hate North Koreans. Most of those poor people are slaves. And again, I don't necessarily want to hate Kim Jong-un. I think there's weird games going on. So I don't even think things are that simple. But there's a cabal that is operating in many, many, many countries. They are the enemy. They are the enemy. Not the whole country. So it pisses me off, by the way. And then I get beat up for it. Oh, you're so pro-Israel. You're so fucking stupid. If you don't get that this is not that simple. Fuck you in this. You can't be, like, you either have to hate Israel or you have to love them. Fuck you. No, I don't. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. All day long. All fucking day long. Fuck you. I don't have to feel one or the other. Fuck you. I'm so tired of it. Fucking A, man. Anyways. Donald Trump, truth this out. Very disappointed in Indiana State Senate Republicans, led by Rhino Senators Rod Bray and Greg Good, for not wanting to redistrict their state, allowing the United States Congress to perhaps gain 2 more Republican seats. The Democrats have done redistricting for years, often illegally, and all other appropriate Republican states have done it. Because of these 2 politically correct type gentlemen and a few others, they could be depriving Republicans of a majority in the House. A very big deal. California is trying to pick up 5 seats, and no one is complaining about that. It's weak Republicans that cause our country such problems. It's why we have crazy policies and ideas that are so bad for America. Also, a friend of mine, Governor Mike Braun, perhaps is not working the way he should to get the necessary votes. Considering that Mike wouldn't be governor without me, not even close, is disappointing. Any Republican that votes against this important redistricting, potentially having an impact on America itself, should be primaried. Indiana is a state with strong, smart, and patriotic people. They want us to see our country win and want to make America great again. Senators Bray, Good, and the others to be released to the public later this afternoon should do their job and do it now. If not, let's get them out of office ASAP. And I am so on board with this part of the game. Oh, man, I've been waiting for this. Donald Trump followed up because I don't think the vote went the way he wanted it to. And this was, I don't know, a few hours later. I will be strongly endorsing against any state senator or House members from the great state of Indiana that votes against the Republican Party and our nation by not allowing for redistricting for congressional seats in the United States House of Representatives, as every other state in our nation is doing, Republican or Democrat. Democrats are trying to steal our seats everywhere, and we're not going to let this happen. This all began with the rigged census. We must keep the majority at all costs. Republicans must fight back, and he's right. This coming election will be likely one of the most important elections of our lives. Now, getting Trump in was one of the most important elections of our lives at that time. Guess what? We got Trump in. Awesome. Now it's that second step. It's that second step. Because that is what the deep state's banking on right now, is that they're going to be able to fuck everything up enough to get people to vote Republicans out of office. Why? Because they haven't accomplished anything. Which, again, I was against getting rid of the filibuster, but I am definitely coming around. I am, anyways. I definitely see the benefit of it now. Because they will, for sure. And if we can't get anything accomplished because of the 60 vote rule, for sure, then we're going to lose possibly the House and the Senate. Unless something amazing happens. Now, Trump, again, he's going to help us with the elections. That's going to be fought in court, so I'm very curious to see how that goes, because I'm sure there's going to be some district judge that's going to try to stop it. That's illegal. You can't do that. Yes, he can. And he's declaring an emergency. And we've got proof of it. Now, some district judge is going to say, I don't see the proof, I haven't been shown the proof, and some of it's classified anyway. And who's to say that district judge has a right to see it? Especially if they haven't even, tried to have this discussion with anybody, right? They just decide because some plaintiff sues, and they're like, yeah, no, I'm stopping the entire thing for everybody, which is way beyond their power. Donald Trump was asked about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you guys know I don't like her. Thank God neither does he.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, he says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay, what about you?
So I've seen some of her BS, like, oh no, I hope we can be friends again. I'm a Christian. I hope Christians can you're just putting me in danger. And fuck you, Marjorie. Fuck off. You're done. Done. You fucked up for the last time. You fucked up a bunch of times. And now, no, you're done. I'm tired of it. Everyone's tired of it. Trump's tired of it. Now you're done. And that's where she freaked out. She's like, oh shit. My poll numbers just went through the floor. Yep, you're never going to serve office again, Marjorie. You're not smart enough. You're just not. I'm not scared of strong women. I'm scared of strong women in positions of power that are fucking idiots. That's where I'm concerned. You don't get the big picture. Trump needs to focus on America first. You are a fucking idiot. You don't even understand what the president's job is, apparently. Fuck off, Marjorie. No, you're done. And I wish you health and a long life, and I hope you get to just think about it for the rest of your life, how you're not a part of this anymore, because you suck. That's what I hope you get to 30, 40, I don't know how old you fucking are, 40, 50 years of just like, I could have been something. Yeah, you could have. You suck, though. That's why. I don't know this guy, Miguelifornia. Cool name, though. He says, what many call division or a fracture, I call an answer to prayer. The discernment of the American people is actually getting stronger every day. It's why there is so much alleged chaos in our side of the fence. Schemers, backstabbers, and dividers acting as friends are being exposed on the daily. I 100% agree with Miguelifornia. 100%. In fact, what's funny is you got people like this guy Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, and Rand Paul are not our enemies, says Alex Jones. The MAGA infighting is crazy, like high school level drama, and it's hurting the cause. The target is AOC and Mamdani and the rest of the globalists. It's time to come together or we're going to lose 2026. No, we also have to ferret out the people within our own ranks. Now, maybe that's you. I don't know. I certainly stopped trusting you a long time ago. That's just me, though. I mean, he is extraordinarily popular. Way more popular than I am, but that's kind of part of the point. The people that are popular, super popular, they seem to be the ones that are on this weird other side of the fence. Seem to be the ones stirring this weird Israel pot. Again, it's not the whole country that we have a problem with, but that's not how they paint it. Now, this is like you're either for Israel or against Israel. Why can't I be both? Because you're not allowed to be in the middle. In the middle, you just like grape, you know, to borrow Mr. Miyagi. So whatever. With Alex, I don't even have my camera on. With Alex's hands out, hey, whoa, 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 and he's even doing like the Spock thing with his right hand. Almost a Spock, you know. Live long and prosper. I personally, I'm probably maybe going to get some hate speech on this one, but we all need to figure it out, man. People that are being binary, no, sorry. And we've got some definite people that are really, really big that seem to be involved in this. Who are they getting money from? Trump's going to address the cost of living. This is, again, got to have something to sell when it comes to election time. More deals with pharmaceutical companies to make prescription drugs cheaper. New efforts to address higher mortgage rates and reducing tariffs on range of food and agricultural products because it's affected the prices. Again, I think some things are very sensitive to tariffs because they're sort of like not a lot of margin in them. And I think other things have so much margin baked into them that, you can tariff the shit out of those and get away with it. So it's not black and white. Nothing is black and white. We've got some stuff on Epstein. The Oversight Committee did a really good thread here, and we're going to walk through this, and I hope you guys are cool with that. We've got Democrats got caught red-handed spreading a hoax about President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. They misled the public, lied about witness testimony, doctored documents, and are now scrambling to cover it up. We have the receipts they don't want you to read. So to start it off with, let's start with former AG Bill Barr. Democrats claimed Barr could not clear Trump of wrongdoing after his deposition. What did Barr actually say? That there was no evidence, and that if SDNY had anything on Trump, they would have indicted him. They didn't. He's like, yes, for that group. I also feel, that they would have done that same for Clinton, I believe. I think, remember, this stuff also went on under President Biden's administration, and they were looking for something to bring against President Trump. And this was, if they had evidence, this would have been low-hanging fruit. I was never informed of the evidence, and I'm skeptical there is any. That's what Bill Barr said. Then came, of course, Alexander Acosta. Democrats tried to smear Trump by linking him to Epstein via the 2007 case, but Acosta crushed their narrative. He testified that he never spoke, emailed, or had any contact with Trump about Epstein. None. Ever. Whole conversation there. Feel free to check it out. So what did the Democrats do? They leaked 3 cherry-picked emails out of 23,000 pages. 3 cherry-picked emails. Then made their own redactions to hide exonerating facts. One name they blacked out, Virginia Giuffre. Why? Because she publicly said she never saw Trump do anything wrong. So this is the article sent by Epstein's estate. This is the one released by the Democrats. They redacted the victim's name. The victim is Virginia, who's already written a book about this. And if they would have mentioned Virginia, it would have changed the context of this entire thing because everybody's like, oh, well, Virginia's already cleared Trump. So they redacted the name. We got more. Another Democrat redaction for their hoax. Prince Andrew. Why? Because the redacted context changes the email. They were fabricating a smear campaign, not telling the truth. Now here, again, we have the victim, an actual victim, that worked at Mar-a-Lago. It's been redacted in both places. But then it says she was the one that accused Prince Andrew. Completely redacted. She wrote a book about it. It's not a secret. You're not protecting anybody. She's already admitted it. And Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. Of course, he knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop. So with the way it's written here, with the redactions, it makes Trump seem guilty, doesn't it? But when you understand this is the person that accused Prince Andrew, again, she's publicly stated a number of things. They're taking those emails and fudging with them. Then they lied about who did the redactions. This is awesome. This is actually on CNN. Rep Crockett and others went on CNN pretending they had no idea who made the edits. CNN corrected them live, saying Democrats made the redactions.
What do you make of that? And can you this is an email from April 2nd, 2011. Republicans were saying that victim is Virginia Giuffre. As you know, she died by suicide. She's been very outspoken victim of Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the email right here on your screen. She wrote a book, as you know, and she did not accuse him of any wrongdoing. What do you make of that? And can you confirm that?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's redacted who the victim is, so I won't necessarily take the Republicans' word on who it is that's redacted. And I don't know why they would necessarily redact someone's name who is deceased at this point.
The Democrats did that, though. The Democrats redacted.
No. I understand, okay, but I'm just saying, like, our biggest concern is to actually make sure that we are protecting victims. And obviously, she wrote a book. She told her truth.
This isn't even.
Yeah, she got called out on her lie, and she's like, yeah, but I mean, truth and facts don't matter. Fuck those. So they continued, we released everything, 23,000 pages. Suddenly, the same Democrats who spent months screaming, release the files, told the New York Times that doing so was meant to disorient and distract. So much for transparency. Fucked if you do, fucked if you don't. Democrats claim that the sheer volume of the release on Wednesday was intended to disorient. Then they fake and dishonest New York Times quietly edited their piece. They removed the word disorient with no editor's note. They are literally helping the Democrats rewrite history after their hoax fell apart. Disinformation in real time. And this is where they originally wrote on November 12th. Democrats claim that the sheer volume of the release on Wednesday was, quote, intended to disorient and to distract attention from their revelations about Mr. Trump. They changed that the following day with no edit, no notice of edit, just made the change. Democrats claimed that the sheer volume of the release was intended to distract attention from their revelations about Mr. Trump. They got rid of the disorient, which I don't really quite understand. I mean, the distract is just as stupid. But here is what no one is talking about. And I did yesterday, by the way. Yesterday or Saturday, one of the two. But most nobody is. In 2019, Democrat Stacey Plaskett was texting with Jeffrey Epstein during an actual House hearing. Epstein helped Plaskett question a discredited witness who hated Trump. None other than Michael Cohen. She was texting him the whole time. They've got those transcripts. They've got those records. I don't know how this actually played out. I don't think it's worth playing.
Obama
see.
was president of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump Organization?
They
and
are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Miss Rona, what is Miss Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
I actually did a better job than that put it in good perspective. You could see how it was happening real time. And just to remind everybody, Stacey Plaskett,
Obama.
She's actually the lady in charge of the Virginia Islands. She's so she's not even a real state, and somehow she's able to get in on this Virgin Islands. Sorry. While Plaskett worked with Epstein to attack Trump, Democrats now want you to believe that they care about the victims. They don't. They ignored Clinton's connections, buried exculpatory facts, and made targeted redactions to select documents to smear President Trump. Shameful. The New York Post's front page said it best. Dirty clicks. The Epstein bombshell blew up in their faces. 23,000 pages prove it was another Dem hoax buried by media allies trying to bail them out. Enough with the lies. We've released all the documents. 65,000 pages to date. No cherry picking, no cover-ups. Democrats? They only released 9. Americans deserve the full truth, not whatever version helps Democrats spin another hoax. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, then someone shares this, which I think is funny. This picture. And they're like, receipts? That's a bullshit picture, a bullshit painting. Jag, Mac, whoever you are, you retard. Please. They got ratioed too, it looked like. So as Trump said, as I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein, are looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc., and their relationships to Epstein. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care. All I do care about is that Republicans get back on point, which is the economy, affordability, where we are winning big, our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history and practically nothing bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars of investment into America, a record, the rebuilding. By the way, a lot of people said it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, but at least he's got people that are lining up. I mean, it's an agreement. So once, again, I've said before, once ground starts breaking, I'll be much happier. I'll believe it more when I see it. But did Biden ever once try to even get anyone to promise? No. I mean, he was more than anything trying to make money selling secrets to China for himself, not necessarily trying to help America. So the rebuilding of our military, securing our border, deporting criminal illegal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone, and so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, and if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before our landslide election victory. Some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record, setting achievements, and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is actually a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great again. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Trump was tricking them. It's 5D chess. I don't know, one of my videos over the weekend. It's 5D chess. He was trying to get them to fight for this. Fight to release the information that will damn you. Well done, Democrats. You fell into your own trap. Electricity prices extend, rise, regulators rein in data centers. Texas is actually one of the worst right now, which is kind of surprising. They got a lot of data centers going in there. Your guys' rates are probably going to go up a wee bit. But I think they're saying the average across the nation is about 8.5% higher than last year. This is an inflation that's not recorded in inflation. So, yes, this is energy prices are a huge piece of inflation. Now, this is not the administration's fault, per se. This is your local areas. This is your state governors and possibly mayors of your cities. That's who you need to be pissed at. That's why we keep saying this is a local fight. Can't get pissed at the federal government. Can't expect the federal government to mandate this. That's not how this works. A lot of these agreements are done by the states individually. So we all got to fight that fight. All right, what do we got here? We had some interesting stuff going down in the, it was a little positive on stuff. Gold and silver was a teeny bit positive earlier. Apparently not anymore, but it's barely down. Gold was down, I think, most of the day, but it was down more earlier, as you can see on the graph. Silver was up a little bit earlier, and then it seems like it's trying to dip it back down. Again, still over 50. Gold still over 4,000. These were big marks to get through. Also, what's interesting, crypto's having a interesting day. Oh, shit. Bitcoin. Wow. Crap. Bitcoin was only down like $500, $600 earlier. Damn, it's down 2% right now. It's down to 92,000. Whew. Ethereum is down 2.41% as well. XRP down 2.75%, which is only 6 cents. 4.55% for Solana. Dogecoin's 2%. Cardano is about 3.3%. So crypto's taking a shit right now, too, for all you crypto lovers. Oh, wow, the stock market was actually positive kind of, a little bit earlier. Wow, so that's not crashing or anything, but it's not having a good day. And, of course, confidence in the stock market is going down. The VIX it's like opposite. So confidence, when VIX goes up, it means confidence is going down. When VIX goes down, confidence is going up. So confidence is waning a little bit, which no one even knows what that actually means, frankly. If you got a 401k or an IRA, get out of their system if you can, while you can. Anything over $10,000 I can help you with, and I've got a sweet deal. If you close by the end of November, 13 days left in November. It's 13. And it takes about 5 to 6 days to do this. You get all your ducks in a row and lined up. This is something you can take advantage of. Again, this has to close within the month of November, doing a special deal. I'm going to give you 1% out of my own pocket of free silver. That's yours. It's going to be sent to you, I'm pretty sure. Either way, it's going to be yours. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. You have a 401k or an IRA, 10,000 or higher. You're going to get up to 10% free silver from my good friends at Goldco. You're going to get 1% silver free from me to you as a gift, as a thank you. And we're going to make that happen for you. On top of that, you're going to be able to do this tax-free, penalty-free. They move it sideways. They get as much of that money that you currently have into precious metals as possible. It's a process. There's steps. It's not 100% conversion, folks. Let's be honest. But it's a good chunk of it, and you're protecting that buying power. Whatever buying power you have left is losing itself daily because of inflation. We talked about the energy inflation. We've talked about food inflation. We've talked about all the different inflations. There's a lot of inflation. Your dollar is losing value by the second. Precious metals is not losing value. 1 ounce of gold still buys what it did 100 years ago. Example I frequently give because it's a great example. A handmade tailored suit. 100 years ago, 1 ounce of gold. Right now, 1 ounce of gold. You get your buying power. The dollar amount's vastly different. It would have been, 100 years ago, $30, $35? Now it's, 4,000 plus? DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Protect your wealth. Protect your buying power. Protect what's left. You got enough money in there to put a down payment on a car? Then keep the down payment on a car. Get that transitioned into precious metals that you can use as a down payment on a car in the near future when things are done being crazy. If you've got enough in there to put a down payment on a house, protect that. You'll still be able to put a down payment on a house after all the crazies happen and we're using treasury notes instead. You got enough to buy a house outright. Protect that buying power with precious metals. Precious metals are a horrible investment when the economy's good. When the economy's going to crap, precious metals are the only good investment. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Take advantage of the possible up to 11% free silver. Going to you. It's a special deal only to my listeners. DRSlikesgold.com. It's got to close by the end of this month. You need 5 to 6 days. You got 13. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of that silly system before that system gets out of you. Hit the wrong button sometimes. Supreme Court, they could have a major effect on the 2026 midterms. This has to do with the case that requires, this is one I want to listen to. When When is this one actually going live? This is the one that has to do with mail-in ballots being able to be received up to 2 weeks after the election. It really has to do with how expensive that is if you're trying to run a campaign. That's not really fair. But it also kind of, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's the best angle to get it from. But yeah, I mean, really, election day is election day. And the post office, if they got to do special stuff on the day of the elections, then that's what you do, post office, because they got to be delivered that day. And they need to be in there by the end of the closing of the poll. And if you haven't received it by the closing of the poll, then it didn't make it. Like if you're an individual and you're mailing in your ballot, which shouldn't be allowed anyways, unless you've got some sort of weird doing it remotely or whatever that one is, where you've literally got to fill out paperwork and prove stuff, and it's much harder to get, right? Those absentee ballots, I think they call those, right? That's different. But just general mail-in ballots, like where here in California, they literally send certain people multiple ballots. Multiple. You can fill them all out and send them all in, and they all count. That's illegal. That's what needs to stop. And if, which I believe he will, but if Trump can actually put a stop to that and legally it holds, the Dems are toast. We know that. I think Trump knows that. I think he's trying to get everybody to play the game properly right now because ultimately we got to get on point. We're failing hard. We're not moving as fast as we need to. And that's because Congress sucks. Congress sucks. We got too many people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lindsey Graham in Congress and Rand Paul. Got too many of those bastards in Congress. Texas, California National Guard, they're being recalled from Chicago and Portland. I think this is intentional. A lot of people are like, but, no, it's cool. The court said you can't do this. Court said there's no problem. So now we're going to start to see things ramp up because they're going to be hitting them hard with ICE anyway. So we're going to see danger ramping up. And Trump's going to be like, I tried to help. Your city's burning right now. That's what's going to happen. People got to see it. Some cities are going to burn. Fox News posted this. Blue City emerges as major human trafficking hub with gangs exploiting minors. This is out there in Charlotte area. They've had a huge surge, 76% in child trafficking from 2020 to 2024, with 48% of 2024 cases involving minors aged 15 or younger, according to the Charlotte Metro Human Trafficking Task Force. We also know that National Guard, not ICE is doing some major stuff in Charlotte right now. So we've got, National Guard maybe too, but we've got major stuff going on in Charlotte. So things are cleaning up. That's a beautiful thing, frankly. FEMA head resigns. Richardson, he had been hard to reach during the Texas floods. He resigned after a brief tenure. He wasn't in there very long. Not sure what's up with that. Someone was telling him to do what he was supposed to do, and he didn't seem like he was doing that. So it looks like they gave him an option. Either we'll fire you or you can go ahead and resign. It looks like he chose the latter. Trump is in talks with lawmakers and plans to send health care funds directly to Americans. We've been talking a lot about this. I don't want this to lose traction or lose sight of this for that matter.
The government shutdown is now over, but the health care debate continues, and it's at the center of is now over. But the healthcare debate continues, and it's at the center of all of that. It's far from resolved. President Trump is now weighing in.
That's right. Trump says he's negotiating with lawmakers, including some Democrats, on a proposal to send federal health care dollars directly to Americans.
The insurance companies are making a fortune. They are taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're not really putting it back, certainly not like they should. Why do we just pay this money directly to the people of our country and let them buy their own health insurance? And I made that statement, and I made it a little bit cavalierly, but it sounded good. And everybody has picked it up, including Democrats. And I am talking to some Democrats right now about doing that.
Speaking on CNN's State of the Union, CMS Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz explained that current Obamacare subsidy rules leave many middle-income families without affordable options.
So again, much like the SNAP, it's just like you put out a good idea every once in a while. I keep hoping my SNAP idea catches on. We'll see. We'll see if I get lucky like that. Senator Joni Ernst proposes to stop no-bid awards after hundreds of millions of dollars have been paid in SBA contract bribery schemes. Said we're not letting any more money go out the door until we do a solid audit of this. They got allegations of a $100 million fraud scheme. A whole bunch of stuff is going on like that with the Small Business Administration, which is what SBA is. So they're basically stopping any money going out at the time being, which is great. This is how they're going to put a stop to this nonsense because, again, they have to, right? We have to. GOP weighs Trump's proposal for the $2,000 dividend checks. This is going to be a fun one because anybody that's not really on board with this, you're blowing it. This is the Mamdani thing. This is the chance to give people cash. It's paid for, so it's not coming out of anything. It's not going to raise anything. It's coming out of tariffs. I mean, it's slightly going to raise inflation, I would assume, but it's going to help a lot of people that need it. $2,000 is a good chunk of change, especially in most of this country. I think it still is. Anywho, here in California, that'll buy you a cheeseburger, almost. Or a pack of gum. You know, one of the two. Take a pick. You can't have both. No, don't get greedy. President Trump is considering ways to allow Americans to get their own money and do what's right.
The Trump administration is pushing to let his tariffs directly benefit Americans with $2,000 rebate checks. Lawmakers may need to pass a new law to make it possible. NTD's Melina Weisskopf reports.
President Trump is eyeing ways to allow Americans to directly feel the benefits of his tariffs. He aims to pave the way for sending $2,000 checks to middle and low-income families sometime next year.
It's a lot of money, but we've taken in a lot of money from tariffs. The tariffs allow us to give a dividend if we want to do that. Now we're going to do a dividend, and we're also going to be reducing debt.
The idea would need approval from Congress to take effect. Some conservative Republicans expressing openness to the idea.
Being able to show the results to the American people, allowing them to keep more of their hard-earned money, I certainly hope that that's something that Congress takes a look at.
Others have expressed skepticism. When asked in a radio interview, House Speaker Mike Johnson said the federal debt should be paid down first. The White House's Economic Council director said the math works.
If you look at how much tariff revenue has been coming in, then there would actually be enough room to cover those checks and not go into the rest of the budget. So yeah.
Senator Josh Hawley previously introduced a bill to give $600 tariff rebates to Americans and their dependent children. The idea comes as the Supreme Court is weighing a lawsuit that challenges Trump's authority to impose tariffs. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Melina Weisskopf, NTD News.
Yeah, and for any of you guys that are like, Dan, where the hell's Alice Tang? Don't worry, she's coming. Got some more NTD coming up. Don't you worry, guys. Alice Tang is going to make a visit today. She's not wearing the metallic stuff anymore in her eyes, so I really do think I actually don't think she listens to me at all. But it's fun for me to pretend world. But I think she's not liking the fact that I'm hitting on her. It's all right. She's hot. She doesn't need me. That's okay. Who's this? Matt Walsh. Yeah, he's talking about the EBT scam. Again, he's got a good perspective on it, and we've got one more story to cover this too.
Turns out that the bodegas, whose trustworthiness the SNAP program is 100% reliant on, were openly selling ski masks in August and pipes for smoking crack and cigarettes with EBT. They're just criminal one-stop shops. And in some cases, as Fox's Will Kane reports, cashiers will run EBT cards for $100 in food, but return $50 in cash to the customer instead of groceries. And then the SNAP recipient will sell the EBT card balance to somebody else. The Agriculture Secretary just disclosed that 5,000 dead people are getting SNAP, and 500,000 people are getting SNAP benefits twice under the same name. And that's just the data they've been able to gather from conservative states. Left-wing states are not turning over the data at all because obviously the fraud is even worse there. So we really have no idea about the true scale of this. All we know is that it's really, really bad.
Really, really bad is probably not even, that's probably such a giant understatement. Brooke Rollins, unbelievable that 186,000 dead people are getting SNAP benefits from red states. That number's 5 times that probably in blue states overall. Just the few blue states that haven't about half and half of basically. I think it's like 29 red states-ish. All said, that's insane. Brig insane. Big time debt going on, visualizing the world's $111 trillion in government debt. $111 trillion in government debt. One big ass chart. 34% of that's us. Woohoo! Make America great again. Japan's 8.9%. China's 16.8%. India 3%. UK's 3.7%. France 3.5%. Italy 3.1%. Germany 2.9%. Those are the big players for the most part. United States 34.5%. Woohoo! Yeah, that sucks balls. That's really bad. Trump says he plans to meet with New York City Mayor-elect Mom Donnie. Mom Daddy. Right here. Oh, who's that? There's my girl. I love how she over-enunciates, too. She's so cute.
Thaw in a recent feud. President Trump yesterday said he plans to meet with New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. Trump says the pair will work something out.
The mayor of New York, I will say, would like to meet with us and we'll work something out. But he would like to come to Washington and meet, and we'll work something out. We want to see everything work out well for New York.
Trump has taken aim at Mamdani for months, calling him a communist. Trump predicted New York would be ruined if the Democratic Socialist was elected. He also threatened to pull federal money from the city over Mamdani's policies. In his election night victory speech, Mamdani said he wanted New York to show the country how to defeat the president. But a day later, the incoming mayor also said he was willing to work with anyone, including the president, if it could help New Yorkers. And Trump defended conservative commentator Tucker Carlson yesterday over his recent interview with Nick Fuentes.
Now, that kind of bummed me out that they cut it right there, but Alice Tang, I'm always going to I'm going to give her a chance, and I found the story, so let's play that part that she left out.
Carlson recently had a friendly interview with anti-Semite Nick Fuentes. Tucker Carlson. What role do you think Tucker Carlson should play in the Republican Party and the conservative movement going forward?
Well, I found him to be good. I mean, he said good things about me over the years. I think he's good. We've had some good interviews. I did an interview with him. We had 300 million hits. You know that. Look, I can't tell him. Will you let me finish my statement? You are the worst. You're with Bloomberg, right? You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you. We've had some great interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let him, people have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide.
It's funny how he says she's the worst, but then sometimes he refers to the Carolyn Collins or whatever her name is at CNN, but she's the worst at CNN. So he's very specific about his disgust for people. DA Alvin Bragg releases a migrant taxi driver that was charged for repeatedly assaulting female passengers. Twice he's been charged for this, and they let him out, and he's still driving a cab. There you go. Good job, Alvin Bragg. I'd brag about that too. And that big giant belly of yours. That's something to brag about. That's braggadocious. I got the biggest belly in the ho. Fucker. New York prohibits drivers from displaying Christmas lights because they fucking hate everything out there. What the shit is wrong with communists?
Around the world are gearing up for Christmas with bright, colorful lights and other festive displays. Here in the U.S., Christmas lights typically start going up around or after Thanksgiving. However, there are some local rules and regulations residents will need to follow if they want to stay off Santa's naughty list. New York City is famous for its bright and colorful Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Residents in the Big Apple and local neighborhoods put up their own lights and decorations. Drivers, on the other hand, will need to refrain from turning their vehicles into glowing sleds. New York State's DMV prohibits motorists from outfitting their rides with decorative lights.
I actually like, I don't know if she wrote that, I doubt it, but I love the way that was, they're glowing sleds, and that was actually very creative. Anyway, whatever. I probably should just relax about Alice. She just won't return my calls, and I think I keep doing it. It's probably pushing her over the edge. I'm kidding. None of this shit's happening. I'm just making shit up. It's fun as hell. I want to talk about the wellness company. I don't want to spend, we'll talk about them a bunch. I mean, they are the best. They've got some incredible products. Revive. The ivermectin, longevity, appetite drop is a great weight supplement. Tadalafil, boner pills, basically. I don't know what vardenafil is. I don't know if that's the girl's version or what. I don't know. It's sexual health. You got options there. Recharge methylene blue, right? Gives you energy and all sorts of great stuff. TheraBlue, this pain gel. People are loving it. Like, they're just like, I don't know, if you're somebody that's got that weird pain, maybe, I think it actually even works for some of the arthritis stuff too. But it's kind of, I want to say it's like Ben Gay, but like better, like way better. And it does have some menthol in it, so it's got a little bit of that menthol smell, but it's a smaller amount of it, but it's really, really good stuff. They've got hair products, which I recommend. I had someone ask me the other day, like, what are you doing for hair products? I'm not necessarily taking theirs right now. I am doing the Rogaine stuff for men, obviously. And then there's Nutrafol. I don't know if you guys have seen those commercials. I'm trying that. The pills are nasty. They literally, you have to do 4 of them, and you're supposed to take them on food. and God, they taste horrible. And I mean, like literally, they're pills. Like I don't know what it is in there. There's something weird in there that's just like, oh, I don't like the taking them. That's where I'm figuring it probably works. I'll let you guys know. I don't know. It supposedly takes many, many days. We'll see. Plastitox, Target microplastics. I'm not making any money off Nutrafol, so if you guys want to try them out. They're not that expensive. But yeah, microplastics, you want to get those out of your body for sure. Now, what I really want to spend a second on is there was an email that came out, and it suggested that some of the states that have gone heavy commie, so I think they specified like New York, New Jersey, and stuff like that. They didn't mention California. I was surprised, but they're talking about maybe outlawing the ability to get ivermectin. Now, I'm not trying to freak you out, but I would recommend picking some up just to make sure you got it. Ivermectin is just an incredible antiviral. Antiparasitic, but certainly antiviral. It works for any of that. Now, you can get infections that are bacterial. Bacterial infections, ivermectin doesn't do a damn thing for. Bacterial infections, you need an antibiotic. That's a different thing, which they've got their kits. And I recommend their kit. Their medical emergency kit's got some ivermectin in it and a bunch of antibiotics. And they've also got the contagion kit that's also got some antibiotics in it. So these are things to consider. But the ivermectins, if you are in one of those states, or if you're in a state where you're a little nervous, I would just recommend getting your hands on some of this stuff. Make sure you got it. The ivermectin cream is helping people with skin cancer, helping people with that skin disorder. Damn it, I'm just drawing a blank on it. Whatever. Oh, there it is. Rosacea, acne. What's the other one? Anyway, it's happening with people that have skin issues, and they are noticing some huge improvements with the ivermectin. It's 1%. It's on the cream, so you're kind of hitting it from that direction. You can also use ivermectin pills. They're about 3.33 cents per pill, which $5 is kind of the going rate, so they're actually pretty good price. You get 84 pills for $299.99. They're 18 milligrams, which is good stuff. These are 25 milligram Ivers with 250 milligram of mebendazole. This is the parasite cleanse. This is hardcore, heavy duty. I'm in my off phase of it at the moment, mainly because weight's a funny thing right now, and I think some of it's even the help with the other products I'm doing. But I'm slim and trim, man. Even with drinking, which normally I'm kind of bloaty. It's not really happening right now. It's weird. I don't know what's going on, but I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm 200 and what did I say? I've told you guys before, right around 271, 273. That's my good area. When I hit anywhere up in the upper 270s, I start to freak out. Right now, I'm like 268 this morning. 268. So it's like, damn. All right. So we're good. And I'm like 6 feet tall. I don't know. I'm reasonably skinny. Went to the gym this morning. It's been a week. I've been sick, right? So I'm getting back into things. All said, ivermectin's something you should have in your cabinet, just in case. Something you should have in your cabinet. Even if it goes out of date, it's probably still good for a while. Just going to say, I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, Alice Tang, how are you, sweetheart? New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Oh, yeah, I should tell you where to get that, though. TWC.health/OTF. TWC.health/OTF. TWC, the wellness company. TWC.health/OTF. There you go. All right, let's get back to my dear sweetheart. New York City Mayor Eric Adams went to Jerusalem. This will piss off all the anti-Israel people.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams stopped in Jerusalem over the weekend as part of an official visit to Israel. Israeli President Isaac Herzog thanked Adams for his support during the war and commended his conduct as mayor. Here's Adams.
We want to clearly send the right message that 49% of New Yorkers made it clear that they don't embrace the philosophy of anti-Israel. 49% of New Yorkers. And so our city is more divided than it has ever been. But you must know that we still consider Israel as an ally and as a friend. And I'm here today as I leave office to state I will not be leaving my advocacy for Israel and for the Jewish people all over the globe.
The outgoing mayor was shown the tunnels underneath the Western Wall where archaeological digs are taking place. Adams called off his bid for re-election in September with his approval ratings at a record low. The race was won by self-declared Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani, who has been vocal in his support of Palestinians in the Gaza conflict. A possible
The thing I always find weird about the Jewish community, and I don't get why they do it, but they cover their crown chakra with the cloth thingy, because literally right where your crown chakra is, which I find very strange. You're covering it. You shouldn't do that. So again, that's I have all sorts of fun thoughts about a lot of the religions on this planet, frankly. And again, people that are in these religions are very defensive about their own particular religion. So I'm not saying any besmirching marks. I'm sure there's some reason they give for why you put it at that part of your head. I get that. That's cool. I won't believe it, so don't bother necessarily sharing it with me. I don't care, frankly. But it's just interesting that they cover their crown chakra with cloth. Israel fired on UN troops in southern Lebanon. Like, this again is just, they either got some really bad apples out there, but they literally, a tank was firing on some UN vehicle. I mean, again, nobody likes the UN, let's be honest, but not cool. Israel's definitely doing some weird stuff. And again, I don't know, maybe this is just getting spun. RT News is usually reasonably fair, but they're definitely pro-Russia. I mean, don't get me wrong on that, but I mean, when it comes to the other stuff, they even report us reasonably well. I'm surprised. They do a good job, generally. Whatever. Dan, you're a Putin puppet. All right, whatever. Dozens killed in the DR Congo mine bridge collapse. I'm wondering if this is going to affect mine prices. I don't know if that has anything to do with why everything's getting so crazy in the stock market and stuff. I doubt it. But this is cobalt. This is a cobalt mine. And this is freaking crazy what happened. A bunch of people got trapped. And it's really sad. Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. So a whole bunch of people got trapped. They're trying to get them out. Not sure what's going on. It's really heavy water down in the area where a lot of these people got buried. So we're probably going to find out more than 32 people have died. But so far, that's what we know about. Very sad. Kind of an interesting story with Venezuela. I don't want to kill it, but the White House has been releasing videos of U.S. forces blowing up drug smuggling boats as if they're Super Bowl ads. They've quietly mobilized additional military assets to Puerto Rico, but drug smuggling may not be the full story or the real motivation. Again, I think there's many motivations. I think people just way oversimplify shit. Whatever. Jason Louris is doing some great work, I'm assuming. A far more concerning pattern is emerging. Here's how a small Venezuelan island, Isla de Margarita, is an Iranian-backed terrorist group, and the U.S. housing may be connected within a sophisticated people transportation network in the United States. This Isla de Margarita, makes me want to drink right now, is right here, just barely above Venezuela. Many are suspicious because they've been training Hezbollah and Venezuelan soldiers and trafficking people, we're understanding. So a lot of trafficking drugs, too, for that matter. So there seems to be a lot going on in this area. I am not going to oversimplify it from the standpoint that this is just a drug war. No, we got a huge amount of firepower over here because Panama Canal is like right over here, or over here. I think maybe right here. Whatever. Teeny little sliver. It's right there. We are in the area to take it. And I don't know where our carrier group's sitting, but huge firepower. Enormous firepower. As well as submarines, too. That'll make it hard for anybody to find anything. U.S. is going to designate Venezuelan regime's cocaine cartel a terrorist organization. This is specifically the one that Maduro is in charge of. So we had Marco Rubio say, based in Venezuela, the Cartel de los Soles is headed by Nicolas Maduro and other high-ranking individuals of the illegitimate Maduro regime who have corrupted Venezuela's military, intelligence, legislature, and judiciary. Neither Maduro nor his cronies represent Venezuela's legitimate government. Cartel de los Soles, by and with other designated FTOs, including Tren de Aragua and the Sinaloa cartel, are responsible for terrorist violence throughout the hemisphere, as well as for our trafficking drugs in the United States and Europe. So, we are going after them in every way that we need to. We're designating them terrorist groups and all of that. So we are making the war very possible. Here is Donald Trump talking about Maduro and possibly chatting with him.
Update on Venezuela, Mr. President? On Venezuela, update?
No update on Venezuela.
With the designation of that cartel associated with Maduro, does that mean that the U.S. government can target Maduro's assets or infrastructure inside Venezuela?
It allows us to do that, but we haven't said we're going to do that. And we may be having some discussions with Maduro, and we'll see how that turns out. They would like to talk.
Mr. President, Representative Mass, update on
Yeah, so we'll see where that goes. Communist and hard right candidates in Chile are their presidential race head off is going to a runoff. I'm probably going to say these people's names wrong, and it's just funny because J's in Spanish are J, right? Like that's how you pronounce the letter. So it would be Jose typically, right, when you say it. But then Jeanette Jara? or is that Jeanette Jara? Which it probably, anyway, whatever. I'm probably saying their names wrong, but Jeanette Jara, the Chilean government's communist-backed labor minister, will run against Jose Antonio Cast, a hard-right candidate. So there you go. We'll see what happens. EU's new censorship machine is moving in heavy. They got this new thing called Democratic Shield, and they're trying to suppress dissent and policing speech under the pretext of defending democracy and foreign interference and fake news. They're going to be going after people like us. As one EU diplomat recently put it, in truly Orwellian fashion, freedom of speech remains for everyone. At the same time, however, citizens must be free from interference. But who decides what constitutes interference? Who determines what is true and what is fake? The same institutions and corporate media outlets that have repeatedly engaged in fear-mongering and disinformation themselves. Just a few weeks ago, Ursula von der Leyen claimed that the GPS system on her plane had been jammed by Russia, an allegation quickly debunked by analysts. Meanwhile, the BBC, often held up as a paragon of journalistic integrity, was recently caught editing footage of Donald Trump's speech to make it appear more extreme. So again, who is going to decide what is fake speech, hate speech, and all that stuff? Now you see the big picture there in Europe with Ursula von der Leyen. Whatever. Turkish LPG tanker is ablaze after Russian drone strikes on the Ukrainian port. People are freaking out. Nothing too crazy here, but fire for sure. Apparently got hit by a drone. The neighboring country, I think Romania, was like, oh my God, we're going to die. There's a town across the way. Evacuate. Whatever. It could be bad. Don't know. Lots of fire. Germany caps power prices to save its industrial base. That doesn't generally work out, but they're capping prices at about 5 cents per kilo or 5 cent pounds. I don't even know what is it 5 cents still in the euro? What do you guys call the decimals of euros? I don't even know. Let's call it 5 cents. Anyways, but it's euros. But anyways, per kilowatt hour, they're going to cap it right there. I think it's definitely lower than what I was paying before I had solar. Now I don't pay. USPS reports 5.7 decline in parcel volumes from last year, but they had an election last year. Just keep that in mind. Now, many would say, "Oh, they don't pay directly for the ballots." They probably make a deal, and they pay the USPS up front for the ballots that they're expecting are going to be traveling through their area, because they definitely pay for that. None of that stuff's free. So whatever. They're, non-election year for the most part, and so they lost their way big decline compared to last year. Whatever, it's $9 billion. Postal Service is not impressing anybody, that's sure. O.J. Simpson estate agrees to pay up wrongful death judgment decades after famous double murder. As I've said many a time, I am oddly close to this story. It's nice that the estate is finally going to pay the Goldmans and the Simpsons, or the Browns. Very sad. The Browns' father had passed away a while back. Obviously, Nicole died. I was very good friends and almost more. It was just a shame. She was a sweet lady, but there's just so much trouble in that family. But I was very close to one of Nicole's sisters. I actually got to meet the other two that were still alive at a book signing party that they were being a part of, which was pretty cool. Nonetheless, finally, after how many years? Holy crap, 1997? Wow, it's been so long. needless to say, that's good. That's good that they're finally getting a chance. Jesse Jackson's on life support. He's doing bad. Neurodegenerative condition is happening with him. They've literally got him on a breathing machine. So not looking good for Jesse. Keep him in your prayers if that feels like the right thing to do. This I just have to finish with, and I'll close out after, but this was just crazy video I found from Tori Says. She has just weird random shit sometimes. This was definitely in that realm. They were talking about the One. You guys remember The Matrix and who the One, right? Everyone talked about the One. And Neo's like, I'm not the one, when he talked to the lady, right? I forget what her, the Oracle, right? He's like, I'm not the one. She's like, you're not the one. He's not. The One was actually Smith. This guy does a really good job breaking it down. And so I'm going to rewatch this movie with this knowledge in my brain, because like that's what his recommendation is rewatch it, knowing that Smith is the one, and it will make more sense. Now, hopefully you've seen the movie, so this shouldn't spoiler it for you, if you will. But there's some very key points, and you're going to be like, oh, shit, that's probably right. I think so. I don't know. Check it out. This is crazy shit. It's only like a minute long.
It took me 28 years to realize Neo isn't the one in the Matrix.
What if I told you the real one was actually Agent Smith? Watch The Matrix with this theory in mind, and it becomes an entirely different experience.
I'm not the one. Sorry, kid.
If you remember, the prophecy of the Matrix says, the one must be born inside the Matrix, be able to change it as they see fit, and finally destroy it to free humanity. That was never referring to Neo. He was never born in the Matrix. He was literally grown in a pod by the machine. Smith, on the other hand, has been there since the beginning. Even calls the Oracle Mom.
You would know, Mom.
And after Neo kills him in the first movie, he comes back saying,
Because of you, I've changed. I'm unplugged. A new man.
That's literally his rebirth in the Matrix. Second, Neo only bends the rules in the Matrix, but he never changes the Matrix itself. Agent Smith does.
You like what I've done with the place?
And in the end, when Neo is plugged into the Matrix and Smith assimilates Neo, Smith's code connects directly to the source, reloading the Matrix and ending the war. So technically, Smith's code, not Neo's, fulfills the prophecy.
I just think it's crazy that someone's gone to that level of length to break down that video properly. I don't know, whatever, I'm going to rewatch it. I love that movie. That was one of my favorite movies. That said, world's changing, folks. It's changing quickly. I'm just glad to be a part of it with you. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing it together. Try not to get too caught up in the binary thinking, because we got to get out of that. That's part of the change that's happening. That's part of our ascension. Things are not this or that. They're both. It's all of those things. Yin and yang. There's a little bit of good and of the bad. There's a little bad and all the good. And we're a mixture of all that. We're doing this together, guys. Stay strong. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.